Welcome to the Unicorn Circuit. We are back from Japan and we are here for your weekly, sometimes bi-weekly. You know, some places bi-weekly means twice a week, other places it means every 2 weeks. Same word, two different meanings.
Back,
that's
whack,
a factoid.
Crack and slack.
And saccoid. Anyway, so we're here for your weekly, bi-weekly, occasional, monthly dose of Fanking, car news, my town, your town, and all the other ridiculous things. This week, we've got a bit of a special where we're talking about cars.
We're talking about cars. Today is going to be so educational, you won't even need to go to school. And if you did go to school, you didn't need to go to school, you just didn't know it at the time, because you're going to learn everything you need to know today about everything.
That's right.
It's a big
we got a special poll happening. Of course, there's word of the day that you're going to find out later. That'll keep you interested. But for now, Martin has been doing some important and valuable research on the state of imported cars, and we're just going to dive straight into the news.
It's big news.
And today we're focusing on mad bellissimo cars. Let's hit the news.
This week on the news, it's just been everywhere, particularly in Australia. This applies to Australia, but it's interesting for the rest of the globe in terms of the way that the global
We're talking about that? The backpackers, the Bondi thing in the news?
Dude, let's talk about that first.
The crabs?
What? There was crab outbreak?
Yes.
Are you going to tell us about that later?
Actually, no. Let's get to the cars.
Maybe that should be your story time. Is this a personal experience?
Let's get to the cars.
So basically, cars get imported. They're made somewhere else in the world and then they go somewhere else in the world. It's a big global trade. We know that there's trade deals and like trans-Pacific partnerships, all this sort of stuff that's everywhere. You can keep zooming out to this big macro level of stuff changing hands, but essentially a whole bunch of people buy a whole bunch of stuff from other people and go, yay, we made money. The people that benefit, arguably, apart from the people that make money, is the people that end up with mad cars to drive around, which is probably why you're even on this channel.
Yes. Now, of course, getting cars into Australia has always been a tricky thing. There's been lots of import laws. There's been lots of restrictions about what you can bring in, what class of car there is, whether it's going to be legal to drive here, whether you can comply it, whether it meets the ADRs, whether it's been crash tested, whether you are part of the SEV scheme, whether you're a workshop that has the rights to be able to comply that car based on crash test ratings and all sorts of different things.
That's the rules.
But that's due for a milk shake-up.
It's due for a milk shake-up, and one of the reasons is legislation. This is all controlled by governments, and the big reason that happens, as you're probably aware, is local manufacturing. I know a lot of you American legends are dealing with that as well, with local manufacturing versus overseas manufacturing and tariffs. Now, we sort of had the same thing here, only really what they did rather than punish people with tariffs is just went, no, it's made in Australia. It's made in Australia, that's the industry we want to protect, because there's a lot of infrastructure, a lot of buildings, a lot of taxpayers, a lot of sort of knowledge as well. That has disappeared with the loss of Australian manufacturing, but a lot of laws were designed specifically to protect that. And that includes international brands like Toyota were making cars in Australia as well. They were protected. So you couldn't just go to Japan and just buy the same Camry that happened to have all the higher trim level, which we've spoken about before.
We saw the same thing, of course, happen with the R35 GTR, where people were trying to buy Japanese ones because in Australia, when they came out, I think they were about $150,000. People were getting slightly used second-hand ones for $40,000. Bring them into Australia, paying their GST, paying the duty, paying the shipping or whatever. And then just in Australia, obviously someone went, hey, this is not cool. And so they went, cool, we're not going to actually do any of your warranty. We're not going to actually recognise that car is a Nissan, even though they did kind of all come from the same space. Which brings us to the breaking news that you may have seen on the interbols, which Marty will tell you about.
And a car like that came in through a loophole. And there has been a number of loopholes, including, do you remember my little March, that little Super Turbo that I had? That came in through a loophole because it was a 15-year rule and it was just on the end of 15 and the government went, oh, wait, that's GTRs, that's Silvias, that's all the stuff like that.
No, don't let him in.
No, don't let him in. So a couple trickled through, and then the biggest one as well is private imports, where you live in a country like the UK or Japan and you own that car for a number of years. It used to be 1 year, now I think it's 3 or 5. And then
they're increasing the time limit because people are gaming it. People
Exactly.
people are buying cars for customers, pretending it's their own, then kind of moving back, bringing the car with them, selling it for heaps of money. It obviously doesn't work with the kind of crappy cars that we're into because there's no margins in them, they're cheap. But if you've got a car that in Australia is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars that you can pick up overseas for a quarter of that price, you park it up, you move back to Australia, you pretend you own it, and then 2 months later go, oh, you sell it and you make a couple of $100,000. So people are gaming the system, and that's why they're changing
That's right, and that price discrepancy was a big deal, and it worked really well for people who were able to do it. I know I bought a car back in the day for like $18,000 that probably cost $4,000 in Japan. But if you wanted one in Australia, that's what you had to pay.
Yes.
And if you're interested in that sort of weirder stuff, K cars, or if you're into really high-end stuff like Bugattis and all that, this is all changing. So the laws have to get updated basically once every decade or 15 years or something. They have to go through and check, because the current Vehicle Act that we're on is like 1989, which is almost 30 years ago.
Due for an update.
It's due
because
for
in
an update.
1989 we were still making cars.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Now we're not.
And even when they were updated years later, they basically didn't update the whole act because it still applied. Manufacturing and the industry in Australia hadn't really changed that much. But basically, a bunch of guys from a group called AMVIA, which is Australian Motor Vehicle Industry something. They've all got these abbreviations that I don't understand. We'll put it somewhere. Basically went to the government and said, hey, this is not going to work. Manufacturing's gone. The government said, you know what, manufacturing is gone, so we're going to have to update it. And these guys went in and said, look, these are the cars that people actually want. They want these cars and they're not getting them. And this is why all these private imports are happening and all these other rules are sort of being bent, and then people are bringing in mirrors and then chopping the back half out of them so they can have an all-drive mirror.
Imagine having to do that.
Imagine
if you could just bring it in whole.
Bring it in
having
whole.
to cut it up.
And the reasoning was always that it competed too much with their local market, and all these, again, dealers who'd set up, spent a lot of effort and time and money setting up these dealerships could suddenly just get steamrolled by all these like grey parallel imports is what they called them.
That are higher spec as well. Like they go, you don't want to get a Jap import because it's got better climate control, because it's got better seats, because it's got better turbos, because it's got better... There was no compelling reason to buy an Australian one other than the fear of the black market or grey imports that they called it. But that is all set to change now that there is no locally produced car here in Australia.
And what's interesting about that also is if you rewind a time, there was a big difference between the Japanese or European model and the Australian model. Now, the difference between a Mark 6 Golf here and a Mark 6 Golf in Germany is what?
Probably nothing.
It's the same.
Yeah.
So things have changed a lot. Now, why this is interesting for people who are into cars, there's a few, and I'll list a couple of them. One is that the global pricing generally is probably going to be a lot fairer. Like whatever you paid for a Mark 7 Golf in Europe, you can now pay the same here.
Because we've been getting jacked for a long time.
We have, and Americans particularly are always interested in this. Like, look up how much it costs to buy a Porsche in the US and then jump on an Australian car sales site and look how much the same car costs.
In Australia, it can be triple. I remember you and I noticed the first time with just like a Porsche 911 that might be, I don't know, maybe 200 grand, whatever the example that we looked at. I know there's lots of different versions, GTs and whatever. But then we saw that in America, I think they're like $80,000 or something for a new Porsche.
Yeah, even with the dollar exchange rate. Even with the exchange rate, it was still like 2 to 3 times different. So that's one of the...
You're like, why wouldn't everyone just own one? That's right, because they're slow.
Well, burn. A couple of the other benefits, there's about 5 that have sort of come out. Now, this is also the news. If you want the details, go have a look. You can also look up the actual legislation. So some of this is still actually being finessed and finalised, but the big ones is that the government's interested in safety as well. So they don't want Australia to be left behind in terms of saying, well, that manufacturer in Germany, for example, makes a car, but none of the big importers want to bring it in because they can't. And for a time, they had 18 months which they could go, the car's developed, Porsche makes a new Porsche, they have 18 months to decide whether they're going to bring that to the Australian market. Now, in that time, no one else can bring it in. After many, many years, yes, the other importers could bring it in, the smaller businesses. Now they've changed that to 3 months, which means Porsche, if you want that car in Australia, or Australia, if you want that Porsche, you've got 3 months to work it out. And if you decide not to, bang, we've got it.
Yeah,
we can bring it in. We can bring in that hybrid, 4-wheel electric motor Porsche that
crazy
Porsche
thing that
Australia
people are going crazy
decides no one wants. Well, the 25 people that do want it can still buy it. Now, this is still good for Porsche because they still sell an expensive
They sell
Porsche.
25 cars that they wouldn't have sold in this market otherwise.
And this even when you go up to hypercars like Bugattis, we couldn't get them because they were left-hand drive or the wrong side, and no one would import them and do all the safety stuff. Well, as long as they meet the standards, which I'm pretty sure a Bugatti that's worth $2 million Australian dollars would, you can now buy that car. So expect to see some pretty crazy stuff on the road. Now, the ones that I think is even better is specialist mobility vehicles. Now, we're talking about people who need particular kind of cars to suit whatever issues they have. This is brilliant because a friend of mine asked me once and said, about cars. He's in a wheelchair and he goes, I'd love to get this particular kind of Toyota that I can't buy in Australia where the driver's seat is the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is such a good idea. You drive up to your car,
no,
press a button, you drive your wheelchair up and it sits there and it locks in, and then you drive your car and then you go to the shops.
Amazing.
Perfect for him. Now, this guy had a wheelchair that he used to drive in the back of his Chrysler Neon or something that could fit a wheelchair in the back, but he had a stack coming off that once. And it's like, well, the way to fix that problem is to get this car. Australia said, no. You can't. Well, guess what? Now they say yes. So that is one of the best things about it. And the other two that are probably even more
They don't
interesting...
say yes yet, though, do they? When we say now, they say
being
yes,
changed.
this is happening.
That is pretty much a certainty, that one. The one that is not a certainty still has some grey areas. There's two of them, well, three of them actually. One that I'm most excited about is K cars are going to be a thing.
Yep.
And one of the reasons they're going to be a thing is not just because they're quirky and weird and mad, but emissions. They've gone, oh, hang on, these little cars will make heaps less pollution. So
because they meet emissions over there anyway. That's the whole point of the yellow plates.
Yep, so that's amazing. The most exciting one for a lot of people who are into sort of 90s JDM cars is the 25-year rule is changing.
Yep.
So you go to the current year minus 25 years, that's what you can start to bring in. This isn't going to come into effect until the end of next year or early 2020.
Yeah, a year or two away.
Exactly.
Yep.
You can bring that kind of stuff in. So we're talking early 90s. We are talking Skylines and Silvias and stuff that's left over in Japan. The catch is there's not that much left in Japan, as we noticed.
And we also know that if they're changing these rules as well, because things do change in the States, then our dollar is not really going to compete with those. And so I think that's one of the things that we've seen with markets that have been able to get R34 GTRs. The reason that they've gone from $25,000 to, we saw some examples, up near $200,000 now, is it used to just be, Australians on the auctions trying to get stuff, but now there's other countries that are like, hey, we've seen Fast and Furious and we want a fast car as well. A fast car like a Porsche. Porsches are fast.
And keep in mind, someone buying an R34 Nissan doesn't actually benefit Nissan.
No.
You think it does, but it's a Nissan, but Nissan don't care. They got
their money in the first place.
Exactly. And finally, the last bit to keep in mind is the variance rules. Now, the variance rules are also still being fleshed out, but what's interesting about the variance rules is that they're saying, yes, guess what? Mitsubishi didn't sell an Evo 9 wagon in Australia. They never sold that variant, so hey, can we bring it in?
Yeah.
Now, the answer is not yes yet. I think that stuff's still all being worked out, but why that's exciting is Evo 9 wagons.
Yeah.
Like all these...
Amazing. The Super Gramps killer.
Exactly. And we're talking about like different kind of STIs and Subarus that we didn't get, like the is it called C-Spec or something? Anyway, Spec C. The Spec C STIs that we never got, Subaru Australia didn't bring them in, not enough interest, 3 people might have bought them, it's not worth the paperwork.
Yeah.
Now it might actually be, which is probably the most exciting bit. But to summarise, K cars, crazy stuff like Bugatti Chirons if it goes through, variant cars like Evo wagons, mobility stuff for people that really need it.
K-trucks.
And potentially K-trucks if they pass ADRs. And so the landscape of how cars are sold in Australia could potentially change massively, and it's pretty exciting times. But, and this is a massive but, expect the emissions to get more and more difficult to get through.
Yes.
I reckon that's the next thing. This is like the sales side covered. Once they go, oh, you know what? These cars actually pollute a lot. I think it's actually going to get trickier. So,
and you know what? A lot of people, when you have a kind of a conversation / argument with somebody about modified cars, and you hear a lot of people say, Marty, if you just meet them at a party or something, they're just like, if the car was meant to have that, it would have it from the factory. It's an argument against modifying. They're just like, they made it the way it's meant to be. And that's the way that it works the best. But that, as we know, is absolute rubbish, because there are certain costs that need to go into making a car to make it actually a financial and viable business option for someone. So they're going to go, do we put a $5,000 stereo in? Or like Twisted, do we spend $15,000 on a stereo? No, we're going to spend $200 or $300. And how this relates to modifying cars and emissions is, I think a lot of the time now cars are running certain power levels, certain exhaust, so that they can strictly meet emissions. It's not about making power. So people who, in the past, if you put a pod filter on an exhaust, it probably didn't make a whole lot of difference. I think these days, the right exhaust, the right intake and a retune, people are probably seeing greater gains than maybe they have in the past, because they're not as clamped down because of environmental issues.
And you'd also say that if you are importing a 25-year-old car, it's unlikely you're going to import that R32 or R33 or whatever it is and daily it.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to put it in the garage, you're going to love that thing, do it up, take it on weekend drives, maybe take it out once or twice a week. Realistically, I don't think that car's going to be sitting there on a daily basis, spewing out old. And also, it's the condition people keep them in, which is often my argument to this too. It's like, if you've got a car that you care about that much that you imported from another country, it's not likely you're going to just let it sit there and rust and fall apart. I think there's other things, but that's a whole other thing we'll talk about another day.
Martin, that was meaty. That was bulky.
Get keen.
Not a piece of tofu to be seen.
K cars and mobility cars and cool old stuff, and it just seems fairer. So I know a lot of people put a lot of work into getting these laws changed. I know that it gets into this crazy world of lobbying and all stuff that I do not even begin to understand. But I do understand as an enthusiast, which I know a lot of people watching this are, it's a good thing.
You could become a politician, Martin.
No.
How many people do you need to actually run for the thing?
I don't know,
like
but I'm too forgetful to be a
No, but you could get an assistant.
But you said that K cars would not be imported. Oh, did I? Oh, I don't know.
But can
Did
you
I
imagine?
say that?
Can you imagine
You're
if
the worst.
Martin ran for local and you'd be called the K-car enthusiast party?
No one would vote for it.
No,
Three
like,
people would.
yeah, that'd
I
be
went to
great.
a K-car meet. There was like
Dude,
10 people there.
But people would vote for you just for the lols, and then next thing you know, you'd be in the government and you'd be the Prime Minister, and then what would you do?
But you would be the Sex Spec Restoration Society.
Oh my God, I already am, I know.
Well,
so nothing
You'd
changes.
be the official one, man.
Sex
Like, you'd have to have
Spec
weekly
Restoration
meetings and
Society.
stuff, and everyone would just be there dropping their panties.
I'm so keen to see everyone's Sex Spec cars. As you know, Sex Spec's coming back. Let's finish the news with that. We're bringing it back. We're bringing Sex Spec back. Timberlake wrote a song about it. Boom. Everyone, time to move on to Is That Even Legal? This week on Is That Even Legal? Martin, do you like New South Wales? You live there, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you like New South Wales?
It's got the best weather of Australia, which is arguable. But if you look statistically, it does.
Do you like lasers?
Yeah.
Illegal!
What?
Lasers are illegal in New South Wales. Laser pointers, you know, people use them. They like shine them in people's
Oh, yeah. This is because
eyes
the airplanes and stuff.
and all sorts of stuff. Yeah. In New South Wales, it's illegal to have a laser pointer unless you have a lawful reason for having it. That's a bit kooky, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, and this is where you can get pulled up, but you can be on your way to a presentation and pointing at stuff on your presentation wall.
Yeah.
Then I think you're all right.
You're pointing. Anyway, there it is. Laser pointers are legal in New South Wales and probably some other things. We're going to do a few Australian Is That Even Legals over the coming weeks, months, years and time.
Decades.
So there it is. Martin, what's next?
I have no idea. Oh, weird stuff from Unicorn. This week on Weird Stuff from Unicorn, also known as Weird Stuff from the Internet, we got a big box that says fragile and it also says toys. So this could be a thing. We don't actually know where this stuff comes from as well. It just appears.
Sometimes we do. You send it, but that's for our ball bag section. Be careful cutting towards yourself.
Oh, yeah, you've got to cut towards yourself now. So
What have we got, Martin?
What usually happens is you just click like, you can sort lists by. What is that?
What is it, Martin? Did they send that toilet in a box that big?
It says add water, flush to reveal, 2 flushes in each toilet. It's a flushy.
That's it, Martin.
I'm going to read it to you.
Flush Force.
Thank you for shopping. Here we go. It doesn't tell you how to use it, man. It doesn't tell you anything.
No one got time for this.
Is that an instruction book? Here, give me that.
I don't know. I just
We're all
want to
going to
know
learn.
what it,
We're all going to learn together.
What it does.
Okay, flush force. Hear the call and flush them all. Series 1. Caution. The coloured reveal water is washable, but while playing with it, avoid contact with fabrics. So you take the cistern off.
Yep.
Is that water? Dude, there's water there.
Oh,
This is
water
going to work.
All right.
This is going to work. But I'm
Here
going
we go. Look. I'll take that off.
Yeah, but we get you.
Oh, there's more instructions in there.
Dude, grab that water. We're going to do this. We're going to do this.
Oh, you're going to film it?
Yeah, I'm going to film it on here so everyone can just enjoy the ridiculousness.
All right.
All right, here we go. So, remove this.
So what does this do now? Put water in, then shake it, then remove the plastic. I think is that correct? All right. So we fill the cistern with water.
Wait. What's going to happen? Check compatibility with flush force. Oh, you just shake it. Then what happens after you shake it?
I don't know. We're about to find out. All right. So we put some water in here.
And then there's a lid open. Yeah, like that. Then what happens?
No. Then we put the lid on, and when I shake it, it's probably going to go everywhere.
That's all right. Oh, look! Is something happening?
And then this here. Oh, then you take the plastic off. Ah!
What is that?
Did you see?
No, what happened?
There's like there's a little.
Is there a creature in there? I don't. What's that say?
It's a little poo thing.
Oh, it's a creature. Did he grow in there?
I don't know, man.
What's this say?
Why did someone make this and buy
What
it?
does this say?
It says we get another flush. Do you? No, that doesn't work. Oh, there's something else in there, man.
I don't.
There we go.
Someone's gonna.
That's a weird toy, people. All right. There it is. That's an odd toy. I don't recommend, really.
But is that all you're supposed to do?
Martin, next up.
Free
It's
download the great.
mycrapcar. car.
150 flush things.
This week on mycrapcar, we're checking out a Volkswagen because Volkswagens are awesome.
Volkswagen. Did you say Volkswagens are awesome?
Yeah,
Which
the veg
ones?
car.
Which ones?
All of them.
All of them? Mark IVs?
Except for them.
But you had one.
Yeah, except for me when I did that.
That was a cool car at the time.
No, it wasn't. Oh my God, I bought it off a Stinky Dancer.
Yeah,
Do you remember how bad that guy stunk?
Yeah.
And he just like
That
sprayed
was
himself
one
silly.
of the stinkiest cars ever.
Is there any problem with it? No, it's fine. Then it rained. I was just like this toilet. Because I had to blast out
This
the channels
was
from the
the
thing.
Mark IV Golf, and that was the sweat that was injected into the seat.
Does anyone have a Mark IV Golf GTI that's fast? No. No, people do. And some of them are probably...
We're not talking about Mark IVs.
No, we're talking about Mark IIs.
This is a Mark II. Mark II is officially a cool Golf. Let's check it out.
Well, Unicode circuit. Name's Apples, and this is my crap car. This is 1990 Golf Mark II. As you can see, has some rust on it as usual. The engine is 1.8, mated with gearbox from Passat, so it's quite good hauling vehicle, as you can see. Yeah, seats are a bit shot, but well, it's quite hard to get a pair of decent seats for these cars now. Again, some rust, and as you can see, it has been in some wag fests, so quite a lot of wags and cars also. As for engine, it has one, probably somewhere here. So nothing fancy, 1.8 carbureted, and as I said previously, with gearbox from Passat. So hope you like it, and thank you for watching.
Thank you to Arturis for sending us a video of your car. That actually does look pretty sweet. I like the seats.
Yeah.
The seats are good.
Yeah.
You can send us a video of your car to mycrapcar@theunicorncircuit.com. We would love to see it. Hold your phone that way. Speak up nice and loud. Send it to us. We'd love to see it. We'll share it on the show. Martin, next up, it's time for...
Can it be random meat bag? I'm so hungry. But we have to wait, don't we? We've got to wait till the end.
Yeah, just hold out.
I feel
It'll be worth
like
it.
you know those Japanese barbecues where you put all the stuff on and you barbecue up your own food?
Except they bring you gizzards and neck and feet.
I don't want neck and feet and gizzards and claws, but I want they put like the mad cabbagey stuff and
Is
veggies,
meat muscle?
Veggies.
When you eat a steak, are you eating something's muscle?
So apparently the depending on what it is, they have fat layers through it because some muscle's more flexible than others. Like that bit is used a lot when you're running on all fours when you're an animal.
Okay.
But that bit's a bit tougher, and generally you'd have to like slow cook something like that if you want to eat it.
makes me feel
But
a
if
bit
you're just eating a fatty bit like your leg or your hip or something, then that would be more of the kind of steak that you could just sear and just smash into your face. I'm talking about tofu, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do people eat dicks?
For breakfast?
No, like do they eat every bit of the animal in some cultures? Just eat
Isn't that
everything?
just called,
'Cause they eat balls. I know, like ox ball soup or ox tongue soup.
What
or
is that
something.
called? Eating, not entrails. What is it? There's a word
I don't
for
know.
it.
Is there?
There's a word for
Is
it.
there?
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyways, Martin,
Livers, brains,
it's time for my
eyes.
fourth favourite part of the show, which is tinfoil hat cat.
I love tinfoil hat cat, man.
Martin, what have you got for us,
Tinfoil
man?
hat cat. Okay, this is a big one. Probably complete BS, as many conspiracies are. Potentially all
What?
conspiracies.
I thought you believed
Dude,
everything you
I don't-
told us
no,
on the
I
show.
do not.
I thought you believed this
No,
stuff. I
mate.
thought you were sharing us
No,
something
I'm
that you
sharing
had
it-
researched in detail.
I'm sharing it
and
because-
were sharing us things that were going to blow the
I'm
internet
sharing
14
it because
galaxies
it's
away.
freaking funny, most of it. And this one, and also a good conversation starter. Like, you could go up to someone in a bar and be like, hey, did you know?
Let's do it. I'm in the bar and I'm just drinking my ginger ale mixed with
Don't
soda
drink
water
that.
with
I have
lemon.
no idea how long that's been there for.
Delicious.
Hey, I'm Marty.
Hello.
I'm a YouTuber.
Are you that guy off that show?
Yeah,
That
unfortunately.
show sucks.
Thanks, man.
The other guy's annoying
Oh, really?
and you're kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Anyway,
the music sucks.
I had a
And
conspiracy.
you don't do enough fast cars.
Are you being a hater at the pub?
No, but I'm sure you're a lovely guy. I just don't like your show.
Oh, that's good. Anyway, so did you know? Did
Are you
you
still
know?
here?
Yeah.
Are you still talking to me?
That was so awkward.
Was
Did
it?
we actually have that interaction in a pub once?
No, that's never happened. But it
I don't
might.
think it would happen. I don't think anyone's that much of a knob.
I don't know.
Anyway,
save that for the comments.
The conspiracy is that windscreen wiper manufacturers purposely slow down or speed up just the driver's side to create more crashed cars for insurance companies to pay out more money to repairers and the part manufacturers who made the cars so they make more money.
You mean as in the compound is different?
Okay. You can go either way, right? This is the amazing thing about this conspiracy. So, if they speed up the driver's side windscreen wiper...
By the rubber, or are you talking about the motor?
No, the motor. Speed it up.
The manufacturers are doing
They
it.
speed it up, yeah.
But, okay.
They speed it. Here's why.
Okay.
Because if you speed it up, it wears more. What do you have to buy? More windscreen wiper replacements. And we all know the money's in the replacements. Or... the other side of this conspiracy, it does go both ways, is that they slow it down so that there's more crap on your windscreen. It doesn't clear quick enough. You don't see the little bunny rabbit. You swerve into a gutter. You smash your gutter. You've got to buy a new wheel. Who do you buy the wheel from? The same manufacturer that sold you the car that has a windscreen wiper. That's defective. Boom. Conspiracy.
Does anyone believe that?
I don't know. I don't care. I just think it's funny.
Yeah, but I mean, you obviously got that from somewhere. Like, so people must believe that that's...
Oh, I didn't make this up. I never make up these conspiracies, by the way, except that one time I did.
Yeah, okay. Wow, that's kind of special.
Do you like that one?
But then when you replace... Okay, because I was going to say you could replace it, but if it's based on the motor, not the actual construction of it, then what they make, depending on whether your car's left-hand drive or right-hand drive, they program in a different speed controller.
Dude, these are all good questions.
Wow.
That's why it's a conspiracy theory, which is usually complete bullshit.
All right, next up, let's go on to something that is completely serious. Let's kick it into Fank of the Week. Fanking is the delightful art of recontextualising the name of a product by taking a photo of it down near your crotch. And this week we're just going to smash right into it. Here we go.
Bang, bang, bang,
Boom.
bang, bang,
There we go. That's juvenility.
Farto poo.
Juvenility at its
Well done.
greatest.
That's amazing.
Martin the cock sponge.
Well,
there you go.
You just might need one.
Soak it up. Boom, the naked tart.
Epic.
That looks quite delicious.
I would
doesn't
give that a go. Raw fruit and nut whole food.
Martin the...
Aha. How did that happen?
Well done. Next up, we've got Rub Out.
Oh, what is
Good
it?
job. I
Is it
don't know.
polish?
It is a clean, natural, rub it in, rub out, rub dirt out.
Did they invent polish in Poland? Or is that just one of those English language things that's ridiculous where polish and polish are the same? Anyway.
Next up, the Wii plug.
You never know. What? But it's a watch. Is that a watch?
Oh, bonus segment.
Nah, later. Story time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I really want to do my bonus segment about your crap
now.
watch.
We don't do bonus.
All right. Whoa!
Oh!
Someone screen grabbed that from Marty Carmod's video.
Well done.
Maximum.
Is that from your Twisted episode?
It is. There you go.
Well done.
Maximum Cosmetics. That's good job. That is Fank of the Week, but there is more.
But there's
Work
always
that
a
out.
better Fank of the Week.
No,
than the
that's
actual
actually
Fank of the
pretty
Week.
good. The Turbo Snake. Here you go. Looks like he's about to get gobbled by a puppet.
Oh, what is
Yep,
that?
I don't know.
What is that at the top?
I think it's a Jim Henson.
It looks like a pig hanging
It's a
upside
Jim
down.
Henson sheep muppet.
Fluffy.
It's about to gobble its dinner. Martin, that's a pocket volcano. I don't know what that is, but I want one. Looks fun.
I'd give it a go.
That's great.
Oh, that's great. Wow.
Big cock.
Nice,
There you
it
go.
is big.
You ever played shuttlecock?
Yeah.
You
Is
good
it
at it?
shuttlecock or shuttlecock?
Cock.
I thought it was badminton,
Did you?
which is when you eat a badminton. Oh, it's gross. Badminton.
A bad mitten muffin.
Mitten, bad muffin. I don't like them too.
Oh. Martin, that's the fudge log. I don't know why that's funny.
It's Christmas themed.
It's like anatomically odd. Remember we were talking about the kangaroo getting flushed down the toilet?
What?
And
When?
The whole kangaroo was gone, but nothing left was its tail. Remember?
When did that happen?
All right, next up we've got a crab knob.
How big do you reckon it
See?
is?
The Bondi crab knob.
Remember you said to me the other day, what would you do if you went to sleep and the next day you woke up and you were a crab?
Yes.
What would you do? Just scuttling around like a crab. I think you were excessively jet lagged.
We were in a Japanese shop, but I was like, remember we spent a lot of time going. You couldn't stay in a shop because over there they'd eat
Oh
you.
yeah, we're in a
And you'd
convenience
have to like
store.
go and hide in a toilet.
Yeah.
And you'd have to sit on it and press the button on the toilet that blasts water up into you.
And then you got to like chop the top of the thing.
Of the food. Because you were saying you'd just eat all the food, but I'm like, the next day they'd know a crab had been in 7-Eleven, so you got to to just eat a little bit of soy and
a bit at a time.
Sneak back into the toilet.
But if you were going to be a crab in any kind of convenience store, I'd want to be in a Japanese convenience store.
Yeah, because you would eat so much good stuff until they ate you.
Anyway,
I saw a crab in
is
Japan.
it Fank of the Week?
First time I went to Japan, I saw a crab shrink wrapped on a styrofoam tray in the supermarket, still alive.
Oh.
Just going,
I don't know about that. Ready for Fank of the Week?
and this is a true story. True story. When I put my ear near it, it was making a high-pitched noise.
Help me. Help me.
Poor fella.
Ready?
Fank of the Week. There you go. It's a bit of a letdown.
Peach.
It's actually a bit of a letdown.
Mr. Cock.
But Mr. Cock, I think it's
great.
Nice shoes. There you go. Boom. You can send in your Fanking photos to the Fanking Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Fanking Daily. Post them up there on the wall. We will grab the best ones every bi-weekly or 3, and then we will put them on the show. There it is, Martin. What's up
Next up, it is My Town. My Town is where you take us to your town and you take the rest of the viewing audience of this impeccably produced show with you. And it is one of my favourite segments. It's one of my favourite things on the internet.
Martin, I found out something abominable on the weekend, and it was not a snowman.
What's that?
There was some stats out in the newspaper about how many people are viewing in Australia we only have 3 TV stations, by the way. Some people in America think that's really weird, commercial ones. You've got 7, 9 and 10. Then you've got ABC, which is like the taxpayers broadcasting, whatever. And then SBS, which has got lots of world stuff. That has been pretty much it until the government deregulator thing goes, you know what, you can have some extra ones. And the channels, even though lots of people aren't watching, we're just like, we should grab them while we can. It's like the loophole in the import laws.
Yeah.
And that's why you've got like 7 food, 7 dickheads,
mates,
7
two,
friends, 7 this, all these different things. Anyway,
lifestyle.
so a lot of these shows, it turns out that on those secondary channels, a hit is considered a show that I think they said has over 40,000 viewers. Now, by the time you watch this, unless you're first notification squad, unless you're that person, it's possible that this episode of the Unicorn Circuit has more viewers than the commercial networks are currently get. And that's the changing face of the media abominable snowman.
Which brings us to our poll.
Brings us to my town.
No, it brings us to our poll.
It brings us to our poll.
What poll?
Are you going up or are you going down? Well, it's Christmas, so we're heading to the
We're not polling yet? We're polling right at the end.
the North Pole.
Oh, no. Well, I want to know, is anyone who's watching this still watching telly that comes off a TV aerial or something?
Do you spend more time watching devices or a TV show that you have to wait for, like you read the TV guide? TV or device?
I watch the Skid Factory on a TV via the internet.
Yes. That's good.
But sometimes I might watch it on my phone when I'm
You
on the
watch
bus.
it however you like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Great
Tell
new
us.
episode.
I'm
Workshop
interested.
tour.
My
Toolbox tour.
Town.
That's good.
This particular My Town, we're going to Kitchener in Ontario, which is in Canada.
You know, the really interesting thing about this video is what that place used to be called until they changed the name. That's the bit that like blew my mind the most. It's amazing.
Has that name changed?
Check it out.
Oh, hey Unicorn Circuit. This is my town. Kitchener, Ontario, Canada has a population of 240,000 people and has lots of parks spread throughout the city.
Kitchener hosts the largest Oktoberfest outside of Germany.
Kitchener used to be called Berlin before 1916.
We have a very nice city hall.
We have a new light rail system.
Kitchener has very few straight roads due to the fact it was built alongside the Grand River. We even have a water park.
So there it is. That is my town for this week. Thank you very much for taking us to Canada, one of the next destinations that we will be visiting.
What a mad
in
name.
the next couple of
Bob.
by years.
Bob.
So,
thanks, Bob. You're a legend,
you can
mate.
send us a video of your town. We'd love to see it. Martin, we're each going to call out a suburb or a town or a city that we want to get a My Town from. And then somebody, please go and do it. We're going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3.
South America somewhere.
Blacktown in South America.
Anywhere in South
You've been
America.
called out. take us to your local KFC. There it is. Send them to mytown@theunicorncircuit.com. Next up, Martin, we've got Storytime / Mailbag. So this week we are combining Mailbag with Stereo Time both of your ears. It's a stereo because it'll
How
be
good's
both
your
of us.
stereo and Twisted, dude?
Oh, it's amazing.
I so love
it.
I've thought about it a few times. I've also
as well.
thought about the fact the car almost caught on fire.
Yes,
and
it did.
I would like to fix that.
A few people had asked like what was catching on fire. It was the
Negative strap.
the cabling.
Because the negative strap was like this big and just not up to par.
It was melty.
And painted engine bays generally do that because people paint over the earth points and then they don't ground / earth properly, and then what happens is it gets hot.
But it's actually got like a special wire clean-up show car thing. We're going to be... There's more on that anyway. It's Mailbag, Martin.
Mailbag.
So,
what do we
grab
got?
the thing. Martin, this is a legit question. Someone's opened our mail.
Oh.
Now, did you open this?
Do you reckon Customs
Did you open
it?
this?
I did not open that.
I did not open this.
I reckon there's a rat in
that
the
has
mailbox.
been pulled open. So this one here, of course, if you want to send something to us, it's PO Box 475, Sydney Markets, New South Wales 2129. And the first thing we've got in here, Martin, is...
It's well taped.
Martin, we've been asking for
my
cock,
God.
and now we've got it.
We
Here
finally
it is.
got it.
Cock flavour soup. This is from Jordan in the UK. I know how much you both like the D. Keep up the good work and get a turbo on that Mini. The Mini's too crazy as it is.
Oh,
it's
dude.
absolutely redonkulous.
Now,
so
this doesn't
thank you very
have-
much. I will consume it.
Does it have a note? Does it have a note? It has a note. Saw this and immediately thought of you guys. Cheers, Fraser from Scotland.
From Scotland.
Thanks, man. That takes a lot of effort to send us that. That's amazing. That's an iced gingerbread unicorn.
Martin, do you want to eat some of it right now?
Yep.
Do you want to just like have a go? And I'm going to get into the next. Look at this, man. Look at it.
It's been opened. That's customs. dude.
Disappointment.
Customs.
But this is from Australia.
They're checking. They're like, why are these guys getting all sorts of weird gear?
This one here is from Clifton, which is in Queensland, I think. Anyway, let's have a look what's inside. Oh, it's quite a heavy bag, Martin.
Do you want to eat his horn? Are you going to break his horn off? or
I'd
his
like
face?
to eat its nose.
Oh.
Oh no, I'll eat the back of its head.
I just thumbed
You
its
take
nose.
its nose. I'll take the horn. So is it a Scottish biscuit?
It's gingerbread, dude.
This here is from, it's made in the UK.
I love gingerbread so much.
Do you know some people make complaints about gingerbread because they're like, it's too hard and last time it was soft and now it's hard. Gingerbread cannot control its own consistency. It is based entirely on atmospheric pressure
No, it's not.
and precipitation.
Really?
So we could leave this out and you would know what the weather's going to be like. In fact, in ancient days, before you had your iPhonical, people used to hang up seaweed on trees, and if the seaweed stayed kind of dry, they would know that it was going to be dry. If the seaweed got wet, it meant there was precipitation, and the seaweed would tell you if it was going to be raining tomorrow. It was a way of telling the future without actually being a psychic, which is illegal in South Australia.
That is awesome. Thank you, Fraser. You're a legend, mate. Thoroughly enjoying it.
Mum.
You put him in the water. You put it in water from the toilet. That's got to go now.
Oh, that's delicious.
Oh, we've got a note. Notes are my favourite. What's that say on there?
Take that.
That's got our address.
Martin, this looks like a substantial...
Hey, this is a
note.
clever little Ziploc thing where you can grip it.
Oh, yeah,
That's
sometimes
is
it's
that from
difficult.
another country?
Hi, Marty and Moog. You said you needed a knife for opening boxes. I made this.
What?
For a bit of fun and to learn a useful skill. It's made from a spring off an army tank and uses narrow leaf ironbark timber scales. It's a bit rough, but it's bloody sharp. Keep up the good work. Cheers. P.S. Don't read this bit out loud, but okay. If you hours you can have if you pick them up from Queensland. Awesome, with your email. Oh, thank you for that message. Whoa. Homemade knife.
That is cool as.
That's amazing.
Well made too.
That's really good.
I like it.
We will use that to open our things. Thank you very much.
You know who likes knives? David Freiburger. Remember when we were doing the Roadkill thing?
I know.
And he's just like, we needed to open a box. He's just like, boom, there you go. Had this like mad flick knife. He's always got one on him. He's got different ones. and they're
Martin,
very
I've
cool.
got a bit of a weird thing
What's that?
about David Freiburger.
Yeah, go.
And I wasn't sure how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And luckily no one's watching anymore.
Yeah.
But I was...
Is the code word... Is that
Freiburger?
Freiburger.
Imagine that, code word Freiburger. No, here's the weird thing. I actually didn't know what to do about this because when we went and did our adventure with them,
Yes.
he bought me a knife.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And that knife, during those next couple of days of filming, just disappeared into the guts of the earth. It's just gone forever. And I was really disappointed because Freiburger bought me a knife and now I don't have it. And I was thinking like, I wanted to contact him, but it sounded really weird and go, can you buy me another knife? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because it's like he already gave it to me,
sucks,
and
man.
now it's gone.
I hate that.
And like, I want it. And then I was kind of thinking, well, maybe he could buy me a knife, and I can buy him a knife,
Call that a knife.
and then we'll do a swap. But I felt a bit weird about it, because do you just send him a message and go, hey, I'd like to buy you a knife, and can you buy me one, which is a bit weird. Or do you just get on the internet and go, hey, everyone, can you please tag Freiburger and just hashtag Moog lost the knife, Freiburger.
These things happen when you're exceptionally jet lagged and jumping in and out of cars. With
And so what do I do? Because I'd love to get a
internet
knife,
will tell you.
and I'd love to send him one.
The internet will tell you, because the code word's Freiburger, so people are going to go, I made it to the end and I said Freiburger, here's what you should do about the knife.
Freiburger, I'd like to do a knife swap.
It's a good deal.
If you're
You can't
interested.
swap that one, you got to do something.
No,
cool.
I'll get you something from Australia, which means it's made in China, but it'll be cool.
No, it'll be made here, don't worry about it.
Or Japan or something cool. I don't know what. Would you like to do a knife swap? Because I'm really devoed that I lost my Freiburger knife. How many times can we say Freiburger? Anyway, so Martin.
Dude, there's nothing in this one.
I'd love to get a knife. And, well, I mean, it won't be the same. Maybe he has it still, though. Maybe he's like, I bought this Aussie a knife. Because over there, they seem to think it's normal to have a knife. In Australia, like over here, it's illegal to carry around a knife.
Under a certain age as well, you can't even buy them.
16, I think.
Yep.
This thing, I'm really worried I'm just going to cut a bit of me off that I might need later.
This is our final mailbag. What's that?
Is it?
Is that mailbag?
No, that's just something else. What's in here, Martin? Freiburger, do you still have the knife? Maybe he has it.
What is
maybe
that?
Maybe it's in our car.
What
Who
is
has
that?
the Subaru?
What is that?
Whoever has the Subaru, maybe they have the knife. Martin, there's a note.
I'm gonna read it. I saw something that looks good. Okay.
There's a
Moog
couple
and
of
Marty
things in
included a two, one for each, boxes of Hard Times chili mix. Hard Time is a famous Washington, D.C. chili parlour that I frequented from time to time, winky face.
We've got a Moog and we've got a Marty.
One pack mixed...
Look at this.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
One pack mixed with 1 kilo of 80-20 ground beef and a can of beer. Leave the fat in, provides a potent bowl of chili. Oh, like chili, like American style, like a chili bowl.
Oh, chili. That's what they call, we call it, like chili con carne.
Hard Time to not cook anything in the chili. Beans, cheese, white onion, flowers are all added to the chili when it's served. That's interesting. Do it separate.
That's weird.
It's complemented with cornbread or saltines. It can be served wet with fat or dry drain. This is so detailed. Never, ever eat 2 full helpings of this chili. You'll pay dearly the next morning or that night.
Wow. So on the back
Love, all the love. Enjoy the day. All the love. Chris Grimm. Grimmy, you're a champion, man. Thank you for the explanation.
Does it say that
Makes
he's
all the best.
from the band?
He's from, no, Charlottesville, Virginia. Not Good Charlotte.
Oh, right.
Charlottesville, Virginia.
Thank you very much.
You
now,
are
on
a
the
legend.
back here, you're a legend. It says, cook meat in skillet until tender. Add 1/4 cup spice mix. Stir in well. Transfer chili pot. Add beef broth. Mix in remaining spice. 30 minutes, etc., etc. But then on the bottom it says, this mix is intended for home consumption only. It's not to be prepared and sold as Hard Times chili. So they must be, does it sniff or is it?
Smells good, man. I actually
that
I made a spice
amazing.
rub on the weekend, and this just looks next level. So I might
she
have
like
to
it?
abandon my own spice rub and go with this Hard Times one.
Thank you
is
very much.
freaking
That's amazing. That is Mailbag. If you want to send us something to the
is
show, it's PO Box 475 Sydney Markets 2129, unless it's not, but
New
I'm
South
pretty sure
Wales,
it is.
Australia.
New South Wales, Australia. There it is. Is that the end of the show, Martin?
I think we've got. Don't we have a random eat bag? I think we do.
Oh, we do. Yes, we've got a random eat bag. This week is something that we've actually had sitting on our table for a couple of weeks that we opened, but then we didn't get a chance to eat it, and then I just quickly put it in this bag while the graphics were playing so that you'd think it was in there all along, even though you may have already
Clearly
seen it there.
would have probably already seen it about half an hour ago.
Yeah.
Before we gave you the code word and before the poll.
That's right. So this here is the Idaho Spud.
Idaho Spud.
This is a chocolate potato from Idaho, which is famous for its potatoes.
Famous for its potatoes. 1/3 of the potatoes that are consumed in the USA come from Idaho.
I think that they're also known as a russet potato,
Yeah.
which is I think the kind of potato that that the clown sells at his establishment.
Really?
Because they can make long fries. So this here.
They change the fries. You know you change the
The
fries.
candy bar that makes
Ruined them.
Idaho famous, from the Idaho Candy
Is it a potato
Company.
candy bar?
I do believe
Oh, what is that? It looks like dirt.
it does look good. Do you want me to pull a bit off?
Yeah, it looks like dirt. Is that like some marshmallowy thing?
Oh, it's
Oh my god, this is gonna be good, isn't it?
that's exceptional.
Is it gonna be good?
I thought it was actually a potato.
Why is it called a spud? I'm just putting this here because it's dropping crap.
Because it looks like a potato. That's one of the best lollies we've had on this show,
It's
Martin.
one of the worst looking lollies we've had though.
But the best tasting.
Is it good?
Yeah, it tastes like a wagon wheel without the biscuit. It's really good.
Ah,
Thank you,
stop
Idaho.
it. Idaho.
Thank you for your spuds.
Where have you been
Thank
my whole
you
life?
for watching.
Probably in Idaho.
Thank you for... What else, Martin?
Coming along on this journey. It's almost the end of the year.
We should say thank you to Roadkill for existing, because it's very entertaining.
So entertaining.
That's pretty much the only show we watch on YouTube, isn't it?
I watch Roadkill.
Even though it's not on YouTube,
I watch the
you watch
Skid
it on your
Factory.
thing.
I watch Benny's Mad Cresta Adventure thing.
Yes.
I used to watch Top Gear. I still watch it sometimes.
But a bunch of the car shows and Mighty
They're not
Car
free
mods,
though,
they got
so-
a bit crap, didn't they?
Which ones? Mighty Carmel's got crap. No, Mighty Carmel's is awesome.
No, but a bunch
watch that.
of them got a bit crap. There are a few that we were watching and they're just like, what happened to it? It just got bad.
Yeah.
And they just started saying stupid things all the time.
Yeah.
Like, check out my new car. Remember we watched that one and we're like, oh my God, this guy got this new car. And then, just joking, I just was walking past it.
Yeah,
And it's like, I'll never watch your videos ever again.
or a really,
Ever again.
really crappy, like, custom content, sponsored build.
Oh, wow. Check
It's
out
like-
my new car. P.S. Here's a 5-minute section about... See, car products, I don't care. It's like, cool,
Yeah.
here's a suspension, here's a thing, here's a whatever.
Yeah.
But then, like, 5 minutes of a 10-minute video all about some special body
Yeah.
cleaning product that you use in the shower that is just... It's weird.
Yeah.
That's all.
We could sit here and talk about this all day, but what I suggest we do is sit here and talk about Idaho potato lollies and the new import laws. That means we could be rocking all the K cars, man.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go to Japan, just whatever's under $500 that we can bring in. We'll just be like, we need one of them, and just battle them. Dude,
Yeah.
let's do that in Japan.
Yes.
Should we?
Yes. You wanna
There's
go
lots
now?
of stuff we should go now.
Let's
You
go.
wanna
Okay. Bye, everyone.
See us.
Thank you
Going to
very
Japan
much
to go
for
buy
watching.
a K car.
Oh.
Oh, it's Idaho potato.